Welcome, hello, Yasu, hi, it's me again, Tai, and today's video is about how you unfold your outer physical senses for your ritual work. So, to those who don't know me yet, I will introduce a little and also make sure to subscribe my channel if you want to stay updated, because, yeah, there will be much more coming than this. However, my name is Tai Kölner and I'm a black magician. I'm a student and member of the Left Hand Order Dragon Rouge. While I'm a student, so not a representative and not a speaker of the order, if you got any questions, check for thedragonrouge.com and ask your question there. I will also not show you some rituals or seals we are using because this is not my topic here. I only share my works with you. So, yeah, but there you know what I'm doing today. My roots are a little more deeper. I did start with runes before, and also I'm a natural born empath, or at least since early childhood, I'm very clearly sensing energy streams. So, and this is connecting into ritual works today, and this is where I can give you some hints about. Let's start about the basics of empathy. There are people who are telling an empathic gift is something what is a gift, a giving. There I heavily disagree because either you did work on it now or you did work on it before, but it is nothing what just falls onto your lips. That's bullshit. On the other side, there are people who are telling you, bring forth it from another life. Yeah, that sounds sweet, and I would adore the thought about that. But psychology gets another idea about what probably could be the cause. And this is same plausible as the thought of bringing forth it from another life. So let me explain that as well. When a psychologist sees a highly empathic person, they consider that most of them also had a difficult childhood, an unsecure childhood, a childhood where they were in fear or danger all the time. And so this is why this little human who is not able to protect themselves or to make sure to not to get harmed gets a kind of an alarm system. What is basically an instinct? Okay, I don't agree the word instinct as well, but it fits about the Roman and the goose. The Roman did have goose for security protection against the volcanoes. Why did they do? Because before a volcano even break out, the goose are already nervous, and so the Romans knew, oh, there's a problem. So this is why the Romans kept gooses near a volcano, for example. And if you get back to a little child, which is maybe 3, 4 years old, and it is a very aggressive surrounding, they cannot protect themselves. But if this alarm system is telling, hey, this is thick ear, like we say in Germany, there is something not right, and I better sneak myself off to get me out of the shooting barn. Uh, you know, um, you can prevent yourself from much harm, and so this kind of an instinct totally makes sense. However, this instinct is far more than an instinct. And I think the definition of the word instinct doesn't fit really. It is a kind of a sensation. It is like you are hearing, speaking, seeing, and the same is about sensing. Just you got a mouth for speaking, you got ears for hearing, but you got no organ for sensing. While this is not entirely corrected because all of our skin has little sensitive cells which are sensing. And if people are trying to check for the surface of an object, they do like that. So this is basically the physical way of checking. On the other side, it's all the little sensors we got in our skin, which are translating this energy to our brain. And there we get for the basics of an empath. This so-called instinct is an extension of your energy body. So you sense what is going on around you. In a simple way, if you are outside in a forest or wheresoever, you feel a change of energies if you are in different areas. You feel a kind of change of energies if you are faced to different people. Sometimes you even walk a meadow and you can say, okay, below my feet, why or not, but there is water. You feel it. You cannot name it, but you feel it. And this is sensing. This is when your energy field is checking your surrounding. Or as I would say it, it's when the inner dragon connects to the outer dragon. However, I want to mirror back you a little into my past because as I didn't know better, I had to check if I'm crazy or not sensing all that stuff. Back then I found somebody who was skilled in runes. And so I did ask him to teach me up in runes, and he became my mentor by time. And there were a few students around him, and I didn't name them brothers or so, but a few of them were also participating my initiation back then about the runes. And there was a funny happening, quite unveiling to me. We were meditating at my mentor's home, and there was a fellow student, one I really liked, and I was deeply meditating. I was totally out of place, just sitting in this room, and suddenly I sensed here is something wrong. And so I got myself out of this meditation. I turned up my head, and this guy was standing backwards me with his hands over my head like this. And I looked at him like a fiery eyes and I said, leave that. And he was totally shocked. He was totally surprised that I even did sense him because he had sneaked backwards me. I couldn't have heard him. And also he did not consider that I was able to sense him this much above my head. But I saw it. And I immediately told him to stop this bullshit. However, this is energy sensing, and here we come for the point of learn it. You can exercise this kind of energy sensing with your dear girlfriend or boyfriend when you're on a couch, for example. You place yourself in front of your boyfriend or girlfriend and you don't see the face, you don't see the body language, and now you try to scan for the energy field or for the mood of your partner. You can exercise this, and also you can, because this is very close, but also you can do it on strangers. So if you are at work and you see a colleague about 10 meters away, without even checking the body language, try to connect and feel the emotion of this person or the energy of the person. It's not about burglaring, it's about sensing. So, however, this is how you can exercise this. And I can tell you it is possible to connect all around the globe and beyond this dimension as well, just by using your energy in reaching out and checking for it. So if you are not an out-of-body traveler, or if you are not used in astral skills, this is the first step to even check your surrounding or other dimensions or other entities without body or disturbances on this planet. However, it might be that you're sitting there and saying, yeah, I do ritual work, but I am blunt about seeing. Yeah, it may happen. And this is no problem. I'm 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 back and forth. If I'm grateful for the challenges I faced, or if I'm grateful for you didn't. face these challenges, but you can extend your senses either way. You can extend your senses by exercising on them, because it is a natural part of your entity. If we remember, for example, the approach the psychologists take on high empath people, they consider a kind of a shock and self-protection. So, for example, if you are walking into the forest when it is evening and you're sitting in the dark on a rock or somewhere midst in the forest and everything is dark, you don't see anything, and there are noises you are not used to, you are getting into this alarm state. And while you're getting into this alarm state, your other senses try to compensate the lack of seeing. So either you are somebody who is already aura seeing, then you will not sit in the dark at all. But to most people, it is just sitting in the dark and the noises around, and they're getting nervous. And being this alert allows you to open up your energy field to sense even more. There will happen something like if you are, for example, somebody who suddenly loses sight, so a blind one, he will become better and better in hearing and in tasting, because these senses are compensating. So you consciously cut from seeing because you're sitting there in the dark, so you are hearing far more clearer. You're smelling the moss, the soil, maybe animals or yourself even clearer. So this is what your physical body does, but this cannot explain the noises around you. And so you start to feel as well, and you literally can touch with your energy body the soil in front of you, the moss at the tree itself, or you feel if there is a brewer walking by 100 meters away. You sense it. You hear the cracking of the wood and you sense there is another energy and you don't know what it is. Maybe this could be the brewer or a deer walking by. So you can exercise on sensing by getting yourself into a kind of frightened situation, which is not really a deadly situation to you, but to your psyche, to your energy body, it is an alert. And so you can use this key of fear to unchain this instinct, to get to your empathic skills and to work on this. And if you did it so far, you can do in a practical way, in a daily way, whenever you want to. So as soon you know the key, how to sense, you can practice it. Practice it on a couch, as I told before, or you do some cards like, of that size, and you put a red, yellow, blue on each card, one color, and so you try to hover above which one is the red one or which one is the blue one. You can scan it with your hand. Not with your hand, with your energy field of your hand. And you will see it's different from one hand to the other. So you can detect it, but it will feel a little different if you use one or the other hand. If you do, you see the differences between the energy. Funny enough, it doesn't matter if you're sitting in the dark or if you're sitting in a usual lighted room trying to sense this color. However, if you use a normal card deck, there is a pike, a cross, a heart, and so on. And if you try to check out for the red ones or the black ones, that's the same lesson you can do on yourself, just to exercise about the colors. Also, you can sit in a park trying to connect to a plant or a tree or persons who are running around. Or you can sit in a bus. That was a play around I did when I was younger. You just watch the backside of the driver's seat, which was mostly in a glass, like a mirror, and you can watch at the back of you, and you just watch to somebody, and on the nose, on the nose, and the nose, you focus on the nose and the nose and the nose, and he starts to rub the nose. Why does he do? Because first of all, this instinct of or this instinct of sensing is nothing unique, is nothing special. It's just a sense we don't use. But rubbing the nose underlines that he did feel you. So it also underlines you did reach him. So this is how you can learn to make contact to objects, people, or in a later case with entities. You need to find a connection and how to use your energy body like you use your hands. Like you use your hands is another thing I told you in beginning this year. When you put somebody in a dark room and there is one door to walk out and the rest is some interiors standing around, most people would walk, stretch out the arms and try to find a wall. That's fine, but try to put it onto another level. Try to not to touch the wall. Try to scan the wall. And there we are with this esoteric rubbing and feeling the magnetic distance. That's like driving a bike with some extra wheels, but you can learn to sense the distance of objects. Also, you can learn to read what kind of a material it is. It's the same about the colors. It's about this dark room. You can get into this room and you stretch out your hands and you know, okay, there is a disturbance, but it's just up to my hip, and back then there is free space. So this might be a cabinet. And so you stretch out both hands and say, okay, now there is something what is in distance coming. So you will recognize if it is cold or warm or what kind of frequency it got. And so you can differ the wall from the door. So a wooden door would have another energy field than a concrete wall, for example. And same about the iron handle on the door, has a totally different energy field. So you can check this by just sensing. I often like to compare it with like a bat sonar, like yeah, like a sonar or radar, basically, what the bats are using, the same you do with your energy field. What is this good for? If you exercise on using your energy field like you are using every one of your senses, it is a big benefit in your rituals, because you are not only reading a text and lighting a candle, doing your ritual, you're also wanting to get into contact with this entity. And also, this entity will not speak up in your language. It will not say, hey, I'm Astaroth, nice to meet you. That's ridiculous. That's human thinking. This energy you probably take contact to, and you probably got a name to, so to frame it, whom you are talking to, um, this one will respond on a totally different level. It will respond energy to energy. Okay, there are happenings when suddenly your candle is blowing high or is blowing out, or there are noises you cannot sort. This kind of things may happen. But in most cases, you do your ritual and you're asking, did I even success on meeting this person? And this is why it is so important to sense the other entity. You will sense it within your body. You will sense it with your energy body. And also you will communicate energy through energy to this entity. What in result also gives you another way of expression. So you will ask a question and you will not get an answer just like, here you got it. No, you will proceed your days, and suddenly you whatever turn your head and see a commercial and there is one word popping out, and this is your answer. Or composing a piece of music, and suddenly within this music and the lyrics, you find the answer you were asking for. Or you paint a picture, and this picture is depicting your answer. So it has very different levels to express to yourself. Why does it do? Because we are communicating energy to energy with these entities who has no body. And our brain, our physical body is, let me put it simple. Our physical body is too stupid. We have to translate this energy input into words we can understand. And this takes a while of process. And sometimes it cannot go the direct way. It will find a way in expressions, in sound, in arts, in writings, whatsoever, or in sudden perceptions in your daily life. So this is basically, you got the information already because you were walking energy to energy, but your brain has to translate it to give it a shape the human brain is able to understand. So, okay, this for today. If you success on unfolding your senses as far as possible, so going from this being alert state and sensing, going from this state to sensing people thousands of kilometers away, or entities who are in another plane and you are entering there with your energy body, sensing them and feeling it here in your ritual room. This is what one could name a high empathic. I would say it is just working on your skills. But sometimes you meet people you are reading very clearly and who want your help because you are reading very clearly. And so they demand on you because you can do. But this is no giving and it is no gift. Sometimes you have to close the barn and to say, stay outside. So this is when you have to learn to cut all your empathic gift towards one person. In other words, it is setting boundaries so you don't get harmed for the skill you just evolved. However, this is another topic next time. So a little esoteric, a little typical me. Stay tuned and don't miss it. See you next time.